neighbors, tell all your friends. It's the answers you need to know. It's the Wyatt Sharp Show.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Wyatt Sharp Show. Today, my guest is Brian Johns, the president of the Ontario Liberal Party. So, hello, Brian, and thanks so much for joining me today.
Yeah, great to be here. Thanks so much for having me on.
So, my first question is, why did you get involved in politics, and what was kind of your path to becoming the president of the Ontario Liberal Party?
Yeah, no, thanks for that opening question. I was actually involved at a very young age. It was like 12 or 13, and my scout leader was running for a federal nomination. And my home riding's in York Simcoe, and she was running under the Liberal banner. And I thought it was just so cool about what she was doing. And that's when I got the opportunity to learn to knock on doors and understand what it was all about. And so I convinced my parents to put a red sign on the lawn. And from there, I've helped out friends municipally, provincially, and federally. Whenever there was a campaign, I would help out.
All right, and so my next question is just for people who don't know, what are some of the responsibilities that come with being the president of a political party in Ontario?
Yeah, so I'll kind of take a step back. All political parties in the province are run on a volunteer basis. And so across the province, there's 124 ridings, and in every single riding, there are provincial Liberal associations, and each party would have representation and being run there. So I spent time locally, and I served as president, all different roles locally. And then I was elected to serve as regional vice president. And then from there, I became president. But essentially, what the role is, if you look within the constitution of the party, you're responsible for the operations of the party. And so that is to help get your candidates elected and get them into Queen's Park. And so it's everything from budgets to staffing. And again, being a volunteer role, it's a one of passion, and I think that very much driven by grassroots experience.
All right, and so I know you are the CEO of a project called Water Ambassadors. So what is this project about, and just is there a way that you can get involved with it?
Yes, thanks for bringing that up. So my background from a business career, I spent 20 years in the grocery industry, and then I ended up selling off my shares, and I decided that I wanted to look to help out in a different way. And so I ended up, a friend of mine who was running a charity was going through a bit of succession planning. And so the charity is called Water Ambassadors Canada. And it was probably 15 years ago, I actually had the opportunity, and I went to Guatemala, and I helped drill a well and bring clean water to these folks in Guatemala that needed it. And so what this charity does is that we focus on helping to bring clean water, whether through well restoration or well repair, or even water filtration systems, and to developing countries all around the world. So to get involved, you can go to waterambassadorscanada.org, and you can find out more information there.
All right, and the next question that I have for today is, we know that next year's election is now just under a year away. As of June 2nd, it was a year away, now just a little bit under that. But in 2018, the Liberals won 7 seats. So what will it take to go from a decently low number of 7 seats all the way up to the governing party?
Yeah, I think that the voters put the Liberal Party in the penalty box. That is the straight up the message that was given. And so over these last 2 years, we have been rebuilding the party from a grassroots level. And so folks like myself who have been with the party just as volunteers have been helping to do outreach and bring party together. And in the last year, our amazing leader, Stephen Del Duca, has been taking that to the next level through platform development and having real conversations with Ontarians and listening. And so under Stephen's leadership, being able to be the only political party in the province that is operating on a debt-free basis, knowing that every single dollar that is being raised is going into the next campaign. And we are bringing, I believe we're around 85,000 members in the party strong. And it's a huge testament to the outreach that's been happening. And so the path ahead is one of this continued growth, and the steps that we have taken in these past 2 years, and then last year under Stephen Del Duca's leadership, are all stepping stones. But what it's going to take is that continuing to listen and continue to be the people that are going to best represent Ontario's views.
Okay, and the next question that I have for you today is I know one area that Ontario Liberal candidates are positioning themselves strongly on, and also a lot of the candidates running for the Ontario Liberal Party in the next election are decently young. And so one area that has been positioning themselves strong on is climate change and the environment. But why should people support and give their support to Stephen Del Duca to tackle one of the biggest challenges that we are currently facing?
Yeah, so just take a step back first on your comment about youth. There is very much, and I will say in part to 2018, a generational shift that's occurring within the party. You need to ensure new talent and new leaders coming on board, and that decisively happened in 2018 to allow for new leadership to come. And so automatically that brings the demographic of leadership down and allows for these different kinds of conversations. And so on your point of climate change, I will make a call out to the fact that we are currently undergoing the platform process and engaging with folks and bringing forward ideas. And we've had over 250,000 people actually comment and bring forward ideas. And one of the items that's under Stephen's came through during his leadership, but then as well that is being echoed during this is having a nonpartisan I will say committee, or quite frankly, a team to fight climate change. I think that climate change shouldn't be partisan. Climate change needs to be one that all seats are, everyone needs to be at the table specifically, and not one party or the other. And I think that Stephen's immediate call out to ensure that everybody's voice is represented in a non-combative way is one that I will personally say absolutely love to ensure that it is about combating climate change, and it's not partisan.
All right, and the next question that I have for you is the concerns of a fourth wave of COVID-19 are starting with the new variants. So what should Doug Ford be doing to stop a potential fourth wave of COVID-19? Because in June of last year, I don't really think many people would have guessed that COVID would still be around 1 year later. So if COVID was still a concern next year, how would Stephen Del Duca tackle this crisis?
Yeah, and well, I won't speak for Stephen, and I am not sitting in his chair. The fact is that with the message that the party has been championing is that we need to listen to science. We need to listen to the science table, and the decisions that are made need to follow science, and they can't be one of they can't be political decisions. They need to be decisions based on science. And that is something that we've championed and Stephen's championed since the very, very beginning, and will continue to champion because there are experts that are far more experienced than ourselves. And so making this about the science and not about the politics is the path forward for us.
All right. So the Ontario Liberal Party is talking about a $10 a day childcare. I know that it hasn't fully came out yet, but what will it take to achieve that goal? And how soon under Stephen's leadership would $10 a day childcare take? Again, I know you're not the leader, but it is still interesting to hear your opinion.
No, and I'm proud of what like we as Liberals, when we talk about healthcare and education and economy, the fact is that $10 a day childcare it aligns directly with our value proposition, and quite frankly, it's reasons why folks should be looking to the Liberal Party. So the question is how and when and how quickly. The fact is, this is made possible by a budget item within the federal budget that says we will come forward and help with this if we have willing parties to do so. And Stephen, and through our platform process and these 250,000 comments and folks bringing forward these comments, have all bubbled to the top to make this a priority for us and one of the platform pieces. And the fact is that when you are looking at what post-pandemic recovery looks like, getting and allowing folks to come back to work, that has to be a top priority. And the reality is that it's women who are left behind. I believe the ratio is something like 5 to 1. And it could be more. Don't hold me to that. But the fact is that it is dramatically more challenging for women to get back into the workforce. And so $10 a day childcare isn't just about the $10 a day childcare in itself. It is an economic plan, and it is about getting our economy moving again as part of a plan coming out of the pandemic.
Okay, and so I was on a roundtable discussion, still kind of talking on education,
Sure.
for education a couple of days ago with Stephen Del Duca and Kathleen Wynne and some other Liberal MPPs, and many people put forward some different opinions. So does the Ontario Liberal Party believe that schools should have returned? And I know Stephen said a regional approach is what he wants. So in your opinion, what should Doug Ford and Stephen Lecce be doing to prepare for September to ensure that by September students can return to the classroom?
Yeah. So, and again, Stephen's approach in calling out a regional approach and a science table and following their advice, all important things. But it's interesting what you just said there, Wyatt. What should they be doing to prepare for September? The fact is that this isn't a surprise. The pandemic isn't a surprise to us. When we have been moving through this previously, it was as if this government was caught off guard and didn't have a plan. And the fact is that what should they be doing? They should be developing a plan and having a plan in the very first place. And so, in politics, it's easy to take pot shots and just simply say that you disagree with what the government of the time is doing, and you could say that from being in an opposition space. But the fact is that regular everyday Ontarians are exhausted. We are all exhausted, and we are depending on our government to come forward with a plan. And so when you're asking what I believe that the government should be doing, they haven't even delivered on the basics. And the basics is just to have a plan, and to say that, oh, we're going to have an announcement soon, and then the announcement comes, and then we're going to have another announcement. Ontarians are tired of it, and they want a plan, and they want a plan to be followed.
Okay, and so on the issue of minimum wage, I know that Kate Graham is kind of talking about a $17 minimum wage by 2026, and Kate Graham, I believe, is the co-chair of the platform, and she's running in London North Centre. But again, she's talking about a $17 minimum wage by 2026. So why does the party feel that is important to have a minimum wage of that dollar, and how would that be achieved?
Yeah, so going back again, I love that you're pulling all of these elements out of the platform process. And again, 250,000 people that brought forward these ideas, and Kate Graham being the campaign vice chair and co-chair of the platform, campaign platform, she did echo that these are one of the ideas. And I think that not speaking to minimum wage specifically, but more about around the economy and what is happening and who is getting left behind. We are seeing inflation in cost of living, whether it be through housing or at the gas pumps or at the grocery store. And so everyday living is the thing that's costing more. And so when you look at folks that are working multiple jobs and minimum wage jobs, they're not even getting close to what a living wage is. And as inflation continues to creep, and the cost of living continues to increase, I think the call out is more about the general idea that we need to continue to lift people up and lift up that minimum wage. And so the idea to be able to do that over the course of time is something that Liberals have done in the past, and they did it in a measured way so that businesses could adapt and understand and grow. And it's no different that a measured approach needs to be taken, and we need to continue to lift up those who are working so hard to put a food on the table and a roof over their head.
Okay, my final question that I have for you today is, why should people vote for the Ontario Liberals in the next election, and what will you do from your role as party president to help the Ontario Liberals get elected?
Yeah, first I will say that the incompetency of the current government has proven their inability to lead. And when you look at the other parties and you see the benefits of the past, I think that what you need to look to is Stephen Del Ducas for his experience. You need to look to him for his competency, and you need to look to him for his progressive ideas and a plan to bring us out of this pandemic. And I think that the Ontario Liberal Party has an amazing list of candidates that are being nominated all across the province. And I think that by the time the campaign comes and you see the amazing critical local leaders that are getting on board because of Stephen's leadership, the platform build out and the consultation that we're having, and then Stephen campaigning and leading, that is going to give you 1, 2, and 3 reasons right there as to why the Ontario Liberal Party should be given the opportunity to serve Ontarians once again.
All right. Well, thank you again, Brian, for joining me today, and it's been great talking with you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Take care.
Bye.
Bye for now.